Okay, Brian.
I'm Brian Reynolds, Chairman of the Lakeville Historical Commission, and I'm calling the meeting to order at 7:15, January 20th, 2021. And those in attendance are who? You want to give your names?
Nancy LaFave, Secretary.
Jerry Taylor, Treasurer.
Joan Morton.
Vice Chair.
And Brian Reynolds, Chairman. Now, is anyone recording the meeting? We know that LakeCAM is. Okay. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 30A and 20, related to the 2020 novel coronavirus emergency, the January 20th meeting, public meeting of the Lakeville Historical Commission shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congestion. However, to view the meeting in progress, please go to facebook.com LakeCAM. You do not need a Facebook account to view the meeting. This meeting will be recorded and available to be reviewed at a later date at http://www.lakecam.tv. Could we have the Secretary's report?
Yeah, all members have received copies of the Secretary's report from December 1st. Is there a motion to waive the reading?
Okay, we had December 1st and October something. We do them together.
We did the October ones at the December meeting.
Okay, so the December meeting. Anybody have any comments or corrections or anything?
I'd like to add the encumbered amount of $2,350. I reported that in the treasurer's report.
2,350,
Yes.
or I say as an addition.
Anybody got anything else?
No?
Motion to accept the Secretary's report as read by the members.
We need someone to make the motion.
Yeah, okay, yes, we need someone to make the motion.
I can't do it because I wasn't at the meeting.
Right.
Okay. I make a motion that we accept the secretary's report
As,
with addition
as amended.
as amended.
Okay, and I'll second it. All in favor?
Okay,
Do
roll
it by
call.
roll call?
Yes, Brian Reynolds.
Aye.
Joan Morton was absent, so she's not going to vote. Jerry Taylor.
Aye.
Delia's not here. Nancy LaFave, aye. The motion carries.
Okay. Now can we do the treasurer's report?
Yes, the historic townhouse account. The town reimbursed Nancy LaFave for $87.25 for the Christmas wreaths. So our balance is $562.75. And the encumbered amount is the same, $2,350. I guess they haven't done the chimney yet.
did do the chimney.
They did do the chimney, okay. I'll talk to Todd Hassett and make sure that it came out of our encumbered money. And the historic commission account is $500. And the scholarship fund remains the same, which was,
$3,000 a non-expendable,
right, and
$697
$697.39. 39 cents.
expendable.
As
What was that again?
$697.39.
Okay.
I move we
Okay.
accept the treasurer's report as presented.
I second.
Somebody second? Any further discussion? All in favor? You want to take the roll call?
Brian Reynolds,
Aye.
Jerry Taylor,
Aye.
Joan Morton,
Aye.
Nancy LaFave, aye. Okay. Next item, Brian, is correspondence.
Okay, the next item is correspondence. Do we have any correspondence?
Yes, we've had quite a few pieces since last month. Jerry went to the town office building when it was still open, and she was able to get a bill from Winberg's and also a note from the selectman's office saying that Felicia had rendered her resignation as an associate member. But that was like backdated. It was quite a few months ago. We received email from Tracy Craig for the selectman's office for the annual reports, which are due March 15th. A question today came through that a resident would like to know where the Birches, what were the name, the house, the Birches. The town warrant memo, that the town warrant closes Monday, March 8th at 4 p.m. There was questions about the Lakeville Hospital and our demolition hearing that we held many years ago. Then we had questions about the historic library, which is currently a coffee shop, and some of the things that were in the building. There was a note saying that the historic townhouse chimney had been repaired. There was a question about Shaw Park and the walking tour that the Historical Society used to have a flyer on. And then there was emails about the museum being open, when it was going to be open. They referred it to us, and the 2021 grant round were all things that were mostly emails.
Okay. Do we bring them up now or move on?
I'm listed in the under correspondence, different things, including the public library, and the some of the other things were just informational.
Okay, so we can move on to historic townhouse update.
Right. I believe LakeCAM had presented a proposal to the selectmen, or I'm not sure if it could have been to Nate Darling as the building commissioner, about adding something to the building interior so that it would make the sound less hard, because it's all hard surfaces in there. And that's something I think that they've taken under advisement but haven't referred back or done anything further with at this time, because the building's not being used.
Okay. Anything else for the townhouse?
They would like us to itemize a list of things that we would like to see done there, repair work, etc. We have an original list that we had given to the building commissioner, and so I'm just going to pull that one up and see if there's, and just forward that to the selectman's office.
Is there
Anyone-
any way?
I can do what I can do is I can just send it to everybody on the commission just to have you look at it, and if you have any more suggestions, we can add them.
Yeah, that'd be reasonable.
Is there any
Okay.
way we could get keys?
That's, well, there's two things happening here. We've had a problem with the upstairs door, which is our office door that we share with the sealer of weights and measures. It sticks. You have to know how to pull the door and turn the thing. It's just sort of like the downstairs door. So basically we should probably have two new locks put in.
Uh-huh.
You don't have yours, Jerry?
No, because mine got stuck in the lock, and I think I told Nate Dowling about it, and he sent Ted over, and well, he's had a locksmith, I think, look at it. And Ted had my key, and I've called him twice, and I haven't gotten my key back.
Right.
And I need to get in there so I can get some Lakeville Then and Now books.
Okay, I can just meet you there for the time being but if we can find this out and get these, I don't really want to make another key. And I may have a second key, but I think it's only to the front door. I don't think it's to our office. So maybe we can work something out. If you need to get in there,
Okay.
I'll meet you there for it until if we get new keys, then everybody will have a new key and there won't be an issue with that happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Will that work for you?
Sure. Hey, there's Delia.
I don't see her.
She's
Okay, moving along.
connecting to
Happy New Year, Delia.
Sorry.
Okay, so
We're adding Delia as being present at the meeting.
right.
Delia, say something so we can know whether you're muted or not.
Sorry, I'm late.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
That was good.
Okay, moving on to item 5, historic public library,
Okay,
future and repairs.
okay, currently years ago, when the new library opened 15 years ago, we had a reuse committee that was set up to come up with an idea of what we could do with the historic Lakeville Public Library, the Carnegie Building, the Stone Building. And so what ended up happening was that we had individuals apply, and it ended up being that Lorraine Carboni and her partner had Something's Brewing, which has been there for a long time. And then I believe she sold the business to this other company, and they have informed the selectmen that they will not be renewing their lease, which I believe is up in February. So the rent there was $1,000 a month, and the original idea with the Board of Selectmen that we were dealing with at that time was that the money would be put back into improvements on the building. And I'm not sure if that actually happened way at the very beginning or not, but there were a whole lot of different issues that came up. And most recently, they had to put in they had to do something with the electricity because I believe they were baking or cooking something there. And as a result, the fuses kept going off or something. So they ended up doing something and spent approximately $4,000 on a new system or something. So anyways, they now are just trying to decide what they're going to do. And I think they're thinking that there's a strong possibility that they may not rent it out, that there's a great need for office space for town departments, and it might become a town office space. Nothing has been decided yet, so this is just speculation. So anyways, there's a couple of issues that have to do with the building. And I think what we need to do is we need to go there as a group, post a meeting for us to attending. It needs to be in the daylight time so that we can actually look at the structure, and I will see if we can get Ted Delarocco to let us into the building. But we need to just go through things. There's a problem with the back windows across the back of the building that faces what used to be the assessor's office. They're in poor condition. They need to be replaced or repaired. And we had considered placing this building on the National Historic Register. So we've got to do a little homework on whether or not that makes a difference, because usually on the National Historic Register, it's not always the inside that's important, it's the exterior preservation and using like materials if you're going to do repair work, etc. So the two things have to happen. We've got to double check on that. And we need to go and look and see what it is. And then probably we will have a meeting with the selectmen. We'll join one of their weekly meetings and talk to them about the historical implications. But until we get our inventory done, we can't go ahead and do the National Historic Register element. So and then we had that issue many, many years ago where they said the cement was the wrong point, had been repointed with the wrong cement. And then when you went to Easton, they told you that shouldn't be a thing to hold it up. So
Actually, we went to Canton.
we've got a couple of different storylines going here that we need to kind of get together and find out what their expectations are. So that's one of the biggest thing is that the windows. And the fact that some of the interior may be redone to accommodate certain departments or a department. So that's
Well, certainly would be good for the town to be able to reuse it for a practical function, you know?
okay. The other issue,
I'd be in favor of that.
the other issue is that has always been, because the building is a half story above grade, it's this impossible to access the building if you can't do stairs. So what they have a plan that I believe the building commissioner received an estimate on putting on a ramp. Years ago, when the library was using that building and we were trying to be accessible, they did things like if you wanted a book, you could call it in. They would, when you got to the library, they would bring it out to your car. We also took, they had a terminal at the old COA, which was where the police station used to be. And they could put holds on books that way. And then we'd have books delivered there. And Marilyn Mansfield was the director at that time. And she was very good about seeing that people got their books. So we made all these accommodations because we knew that we were going to be building a new library and so that it wasn't an issue. But no one could ever get into the stacks to browse unless you could walk the stairs. So I believe Nate has an estimate from the same company who may be the same company that did the historic townhouse ramp. And if they were going to use it for town business, they would have to have it accessible and the ramp would have to go in. So that's another issue that we need to talk to them about. And I'm all for
Certainly, yeah.
accessibility, so it's not, but I mean, it's just something we have to do. So those are the two things, the windows and the ramp, basically.
Okay. Anybody have any comments?
Oh, I hope they get to use it for something.
Right. Okay. Moving on. 175th anniversary, 2028. Any updates?
We had agreed that we would do publicity starting in January about this. And so that's something that I will be doing. We also have two people that we knew in last month who had said that they were interested in serving. So we just have to double check with them, make sure we have addresses and contact information and go forward with that. So
Did we have somebody from October meeting?
we had the Barracks, Kathleen Barrack, Bobby, and somebody else. I'm trying to think who it was.
Well, I had said,
Yes, I know.
Corey
I don't want to
Powell.
mention. I don't want to mention names though, until we check with them to make
Okay.
sure they're.
because that was a long time ago. That was at one of those sales.
Right. That was December. We had two new names in December, so I just want to double check with those individuals before we put them put their names forward. But I have no problem with either of the people that said they were interested, because we're going to need a lot of help. And
Certainly will. You know, we know what happened the last time.
And we had a lot of help last
Wow.
time, so that was good.
Okay. Okay. Letters of interest in serving on the commission. Item 7.
Right, the
Anything else?
letter that Jerry found in the mail, in our mailbox, was that Felicia Carter had resigned her alternate position, which that meant that we now had another position open, and we had one more individual who had expressed an interest to the town clerks, to the town selectman's office, and Tracy McCraig, Craig in particular, that she was interested, the individual was interested, and that was Ryan Boley. So I would move that we ask her if she would be interested in being an associate member.
That's reasonable.
And so I need a second to my motion.
Okay. Okay. You make that a motion. Will somebody second it?
I second.
Joan?
Okay. Any other comments? Okay. Roll
Wasn't it
call
the
vote.
other, excuse me, wasn't it the other Bali that we
We
accepted?
had two. We already accepted one.
We
person.
accepted her.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did it based on when the timestamp was that the letters came in. Delia was first, and then the next two people were the next two people that we voted on. Oh, this will be the third person that we voted on. But we
Okay.
couldn't
So
vote
we have
on it until we knew we actually had a written letter of resignation. That was the problem.
Okay.
Okay. We have a motion. Somebody make a second on it.
Joan Morton seconded. There's a roll call vote. Brian Reynolds,
Aye.
Joan Morton,
I.
Jerry Taylor,
Aye.
Dylan Murphy,
Yeah,
Nancy LaFave.
I'm having a hard time hearing you guys. I don't know why.
Okay. So we have the motion carries. All in favor. Item 8 is demolitions and gifts and long-range plans.
Okay. Demolition sign-offs were for 41 Precinct Street. This is across the street from the COA driveway. It's a small house that had, I think it was 2 little garages and one was just demolished recently. It was, I believe it was from the 1920s that the building is, and it has been for sale, and I'm sure it's, I don't know the actual designs, but it's not on any one of our lists. It's not on the inventory. We have an agreement that we would allow me to sign off on that one.
Okay.
The
Are we
other one
on?
was 131 Rhode Island Road, which is at the intersection of Route 79 and Route 18 at the lights. It's the White House that's set back on the hill. That also is I think it's prior to World War II. And so that one is also not on any of our inventories. So that one was also signed off on.
Do we know what's going to go in there?
No, I think this was, I think it was more like we agreed to, they were interested to know whether or not, if the building was a historic building and everything. And so all the information that we have through the assessor's office and stuff like that lists the age of the building and everything. Plus it wasn't on our inventory to begin with either. So I've just taken photographs so that if anybody ever asks us what was there before, the building and the property are for sale.
Yes, we understand we do not have funding to do things like that. Okay, any other things under item 8? Long-range plans?
There were no gifts. And in terms of long-range plans, were we going to do something with, not the master, was it the master plan? An update?
Well, master plan, I think, got turned in a couple of years ago. Well,
Last year.
what needs to be done is the open space plan part of the historical commission material.
So it's the open space part of the historical commission's part of that open space plan.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you done any work on that, Brian?
Well, I have material, but I haven't done it yet.
Has open space met to talk about this?
Sorry?
Have you met with open space recently to talk about this?
We meet every first Monday. Yes, we have talked about it frequently. It's just something that has to be done.
So are we working off the
Sometimes in the
last,
past-
are we working off the last section that was in there about historic
Right.
preservation?
We have to update the last sections
Okay.
for geology and historical items.
All right. Do you don't happen to know the page numbers in the report, do you?
No, I don't have them in front of me, no.
Okay.
I
So
can get them to you, Nancy, and I've already spoken to Mike Schroeder about what we needed to update from the
Okay.
last one. So I can
As
get the
long
page
as-
numbers to you if you want.
It's just so
Yeah,
that I can
I
put
mean,
it in
I've
the
got
record.
material from Mike Schroeder, but I haven't opened it. Yes, all this needs to be done.
Okay, so Joan, you know what's going on in terms of the material.
Yes, I
And we-
do.
Okay. So you and Brian are going to move forward on this?
I'll be happy to work with Brian.
Yes, I thought she might be, yes.
All right, so we can say that Brian and Joan are going to work on this element,
Yes,
and it is the open space plan, and it's the historical and geological
right.
aspect.
The
Okay,
sections.
good. That's all I needed to know. I knew it was something, but I couldn't remember what it was.
Well, I knew that Joan, had gone through some, family problems, and I figured we have enough time to get it all in.
Okay.
Okay, any other business?
We
I have a
need-
question.
Okay.
We know that the Lakeville Hospital is going to be demolished. Are we
Yes.
still interested in getting those tiles from the children's area? And if we are, should we contact the committee that's in charge of it?
Okay, what happened with that was the Lakeville Hospital, the correspondence that I sent to them went over what had happened at the demolition hearing that we held when National Development owned the property. And in the letter that I sent to them, I did not mention the fact, I don't think I mentioned the fact that we were promised certain things that were in the building, and some of it was also promised to the Historical Society, and the way the building was closed, the gentleman that was in charge of it and was dealing with us was there one day and then had been reassigned, and there was no way of getting any of the stuff other than what the highway department had helped take off the building. I do know that it is a really difficult job. We have the Mayflower, which is at the library right now, the curved dial, the curved piece. And I don't believe the Historical Society received anything from the front of the children's ward. Is that correct?
No, nothing has been received. But it will be a task to get them, when they do the demolition of the building, that used to be called the Children's Ward or the West Ward, or PT Ward. That would be the time to get it removed, But yes, I would say it would be appropriate to approach somebody on the committee to see what they intend to do with the material and if it could come to the town in some way.
Okay. The person that I dealt with or sent that was doing the inquiry was a Mr. O'Leary. But I don't I don't believe that they were actually the people that were purchasing the property. They might have been like an agent. And the other group that's involved is the planning board. Planning board. I think it's the planning board. Michelle I'm gonna kill her name, Erin or something like that. Anyway, I can get in touch with them and find out what the process is and.
Yes, that certainly would be nice, you know,
Okay, when you find out.
part of the town's history.
Okay.
Now, on the correspondence items, is there anything, the ones that you read off, that we need to do anything about tonight, or that we can comment on?
No, most of them were just informational things, or I'm trying to find a copy of the Shaw Park, at the Shaw Park sign, a copy of the Historical Society's tour booklet, where they talked about the different houses that you could drive to, and I think they had the street addresses. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember it well, yes.
It used to be available at the town clerk's office for anyone who happened to stop by, and I think it might even say something like that on the sign. I have
But
to
there are
see
no
what-
copies left at the museum, and I doubt if there's any in the town clerk's office. I mean,
No,
you
no
could
one has
check.
any. Yeah, I want to say that I might have one in the Historical Society file. So when I go to let Jerry in to get the things, I will check the Historical Society file in our file cabinet and see if there's one there.
You know,
can always
well,
make a
some of the things that are on the sign probably have changed.
They don't
So that if
exist
we were to
anymore.
revise it, you know, there are some buildings that have been torn down, probably.
So the only thing else on correspondence was the Birches.
Oh, yeah, what are they?
I thought in the Dartmouth Path, I thought that we talked about that and that it was the house that is now owned by the Gamashes, with the red roofed veranda that goes around. It's a couple of houses before my house. But I'm not sure if that was, if it was some other name, another tree name at that point. So I'm going to look at the Dartmouth Path book that Paul put out. It is not in Mike Madigan's Sampson's Tavern book that he talked about. It's not listed there, and it's not on one of the maps that he happened to have. So I was going to check some of the older maps that sometimes listed house names like Elmhurst and Hindshurst and stuff like that.
Right,
And
yeah.
see if we could find it. But do you remember, Brian? It was, believe it was
No, I
someplace
don't.
on Bedford
Nope,
Street.
I can't come up with an answer to this one.
Okay. So we'll continue to look for that. They found an advertisement, and they were just, the person wanted to know if we could tell them where the house was, or the site of the place. So I can just let him know that we're still looking into it.
Well, that'd be good, yes. Any other business?
We need to decide when we're going to meet to look at the historic library.
The only bad day for me would be the first Monday of any month in the evening.
Okay, we're going to do it in the daylight time.
It would be best, certainly.
Yeah, so
Without,
Delia?
I don't even know what I've got for medical appointments. You know, try and find out when it's convenient for everybody.
is there any chance that we could meet sometime like the week of the 25th of January? I'm sure I'm reading the right number. Like Monday, the 25th or something like that, Jerry, Delia, Joan?
The only good thing I have that week is an appointment on the 27th.
Okay,
So
so you're
any other day would be fine.
Monday or Tuesday, Delia or Jerry?
That's okay with me.
I'm having a hard time hearing you guys.
Are you available Monday, the 25th of January to meet at the Historic Library where Something's Brewing is?
I can do Tuesday, but not Monday.
Okay, so Tuesday? Jerry,
Okay, yeah.
Joan,
Tuesday's okay with me.
Brian?
As far as I can tell, I don't really know right this second.
All right, tentative, how's 1 PM?
1 PM.
Sounds fine.
Tuesday, January 26th. I'll see if we can meet with Ted and have him let us into the building. And
Right.
I will post it because we may have to make a decision. We might have to vote on something,
That'd be a good idea.
okay? Because otherwise we won't be able to make a decision until our February 17th, which is our next meeting. And I think the Board of
And is-
Selectmen would like to know ahead of time. So the only other thing is to reminder that we meet on Wednesday, February 17th, which happens to be Ash Wednesday, but okay,
Okay. Any other business? Somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Somebody second it?
I second.
Second that,
Delia, was that Delia?
second,
Okay, roll call vote. Brian Reynolds,
Aye.
Joan Morton,
Aye.
Jerry Taylor,
Aye.
Julie Murphy,
aye.
Nancy LaFave. Aye, we are adjourned.